Oh my goodness, 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 oh my goodness! Oh. You do not know how long I've been waiting to get my very own laser blaster, and today we're gonna unbox it together. Just open it up. Oh my god. It's beautiful. It's just like I imagined it. Now the question is, how do I turn this thing on? Okay, we're not gonna fire the laser blaster indoors today. But that's okay, because today we're gonna be taking a look at how to pull off your very own laser blaster effect right in Filmora Pro. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to Filmora Pro. My name's Johnny. I should really read the instructions before handling a firearm. The firearms depicted in this video are completely fake. Please practice proper caution and safety while handling firearms, fictional or otherwise. And today we're going to be taking a look at how to pull off this really cool laser blaster effect. This is a relatively easy effect that you could use in a sci-fi project or even in motion graphics. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to get more tutorials like this one in the future. With all of that out of the way, let's get into it. So I've got this shot of myself aiming the blaster gun, and one thing that's important before you begin is that your subject is aiming the blaster accurately at their target. Otherwise, it'll look like the blaster is broken. In my case, the blaster went off by accident, so I'm going to choose this moment a few frames before I react to it going off right here. To give me more flexibility later on, I'm going to create a new transparent plane, place it on the track above my clip, and do all of my blaster effect magic on that plane. Let's go to the controls panel for this plane and click this plus icon by effects. I'm going to search for lightning and electricity and select it. You'll see something like a lightning bolt on your clip. First, let's set the wave scale and the twitch scale to 0. Then under branches, let's set the quantity to 0 as well. You should now see a straight line. Under end, set the width to 1. Now the beam will have an even thickness. Next, in the viewer panel, I'm going to put one end on the tip of the gun, and I'm going to have the beam leave off the right side of the frame just like this. Now to animate the blaster effect. We're going to do this by adjusting the growth parameter for the start and end points. How fast we animate this is really up to how fast of a blaster effect you want. I wanted mine quick but visible, so I'm going to set my end growth to 0.2 and enable keyframing by clicking this circle on the left here. Next, I'm also going to enable keyframing on the start growth parameter, but keep it at 0 for now. Let's move ahead 4 frames, and I'm going to set my end growth to 1 and set my start growth to 0.8. Why 0.8? Well, to keep this blaster shot the same length, we'll want the difference between the end growth and the start growth to be the same throughout, which in my case is 0.2. 1 minus 0.2 is 0.8. Let's take a look at how it looks. That's pretty good. I probably won't slow down the blaster any more than this, but I want the shot to disappear at the end. We can do this by moving ahead 1 frame and setting our start growth to 1. We can actually do the same thing at the start by moving all of our keyframes forward 1 frame, and then at the very beginning 1 frame before all of these keyframes, setting our end growth to something close to 0, like 0.01. Let's start our plane right at this first keyframe, and set our blend mode to screen. And there we go! Now we have our nice basic animation. I'm going to polish this up a little bit by keyframing the start point of the first 2 frames of this animation. This is because I want the start of my blaster to line up with the laser line while it's still connected to the gun. I'll also bump up the width of the start and end to 2. There we go, much better. Before we get into the next step, I thought I'd let you know that Filmora Pro 2.1 recently became available as a free update. It features new track select tools, grain removal, a new tone coloring effect, and much more. You can learn more about these features in our Learn Filmora Pro playlist, links in the description. Now let's talk about a few ways you can make this effect look even better. First, you can adjust how soft the blaster looks by adjusting the core feather over here. I'm going to set mine pretty low at 0.1. Next, you can adjust the color of your blaster by going to Glow and selecting a different color. You know me, I'm going to choose a nice FilmoraPro purple. And finally, you can adjust how much glow your blaster gives off by adjusting the glow's opacity, radius, feather, and more. You can also change how the glow looks by changing the plane's blend mode from screen to add. And I'm going to go back to my glow and really crank it. I want this laser blast to be a little bit brighter in general. Now, one thing we haven't taken into full account so far is motion blur. Motion blur will happen to anything moving really fast on camera, so we need to properly show that in our blaster animation. The blaster line itself has length, which helps, but I want to add some more motion blur to it, and checking the motion blur box on this plane won't help us, because we're animating an effect rather than the position of the plane itself. What we can do to fake motion blur instead is by adding a zoom blur effect on our plane, and place the center position right where the shot begins. Right about here. Let's dial up the strength, and now I feel like this looks a little more fluid. Next, we can add a little more expression to the laser going off by animating the flare right as it starts going off. I'm going to add a new transparent plane above our current one and set its blend to screen. Next, let's add the light flares effect and choose a flare type. I really like anamorphic spiked, so I'm going to go with that one. Because the blaster is relatively small in the frame, I'm going to set the scale of the flare to about 600. Let's line it up with the beginning of the blaster effect. Let's click this circle beside intensity to enable keyframing. Next, I'm going to go 2 frames before I fire the shot and set the intensity to 0. And then I'll go about 3 frames after the shot is first fired, and I'll set the intensity back to 0 as well. Since I'm moving the gun, I want to keyframe the position of the flare with the tip of my gun. I can do this by adjusting the keyframing of the hotspot position, just like this. And there we go, we've successfully created a basic blaster effect. Are there any other cool effects you've made with the lightning and electricity effect in Filmora Pro? Let us know in the comments down below. Or better yet, try out the effect for yourself in Filmora Pro and send us a link to what you make. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and remember, there's no limit to what you can make.